Listen. All right, well, this is Melissa Shaw with Our Generation, where we educate, empower, and inspire. And we are excited for another episode with I would call a seasoned entrepreneur. She's actually celebrating her 1 year in business. So that's so
Yes.
exciting. I wish I would have met you before because I would have loved to capture the beginning and then now your year. But that's okay because we have an opportunity to bring you back 6 months to a year
Okay.
to see where your growth, because it's always all about growth
Right.
and not being in the same place. So thank you for being on my show. And yeah, so just tell us a little bit about yourself. And
Yeah. So first of all, thank you.
yes,
So I'm Nicole Woodson. I am co-founder of the Floral Design Lab with my 21-year-old daughter. And so the Floral Design Lab kind of stemmed from my daughter's 20th birthday. She wanted to tap into this soft girl era.
yes,
And I was like, girl, what is that? I don't even know what that means right now.
right.
So she was explaining, like, just tapping into my feminine side. And she wanted to have a brunch and everybody wear pink. And,
Mm,
so her friends, everybody went along and they had their pink on. Everybody was so pretty. And I was like, hey, why don't we take some flowers and just like make our own flower bouquets? And we did that, and it was like the room, like the weight lifted in the room,
mm,
and like the smile on these young women's face. It was like transformative.
wow.
And I was like, is this really happening? Am I like seeing this? Because I
Yeah,
because I know these young ladies.
right.
And it just was like the energy and the positivity. And so my daughter, I've been a single mom all her life, never married. And so I've always tried to teach her to, be kind and nice to people. And
Mm-hmm.
like, you never know what somebody's going through. So whatever we can do to kind of help brighten somebody's day.
Absolutely.
So
And I love flowers, by the way.
me, so I was buying myself flowers.
Me too. And
Like,
we had that conversation. So I was at your
yes,
event a week ago Sunday.
yes.
And yeah, we talked about that. And you said, do you just put them in the vase? And man, y'all should see my bouquet that I did at her event.
Okay,
It
come
still
check
looks
it out.
good.
Does
It does.
I
So
love
whatever
that.
flowers you're getting, like them are some good ass flowers.
I love that because it's so funny because I'm always nervous because
Right?
flowers
No,
do die.
they do, but no, they look really good still.
Okay.
I probably should change the water.
She didn't follow directions, y'all. I told her to.
But they look good. But I'm gonna do that when I get home. Sorry.
Okay. You're
Anyway,
thinking about it.
yes.
But no, that's kind of where the concept stemmed from. It was just like to find a way to uplift others. But I guess more about me is I guess my own personal background is I am the fourth of five children. My parents are still married, 49 years
Oh
married,
wow!
and so
Yay.
they're doing well. And they got married at a very, very as teenagers, and
Mm,
so I just came up in the hood with no money,
mm,
okay, but we had love and peace and just the support I needed.
mm-hmm.
And so my mom now is an entrepreneur. She owns a daycare
That's
with
exciting.
over 100 kids,
Oh
which
my.
that's not my calling, y'all. That is not for
Yeah,
me.
that you gotta be a special woman.
Yes. And so, as it's funny because I was talking with my sisters about my parents, where they are now compared to where we were as kids.
Mm-hmm.
Again, living in the hood, beans and weenies, poor man's dinners. I didn't know
Mm-hmm.
what the mall was until eighth grade
Mm,
because I'd never been.
mm.
And we shopped. Now I'm telling my age, but we shopped at Kmart and Zayres
Okay, I remember
and
that.
Value City, and
Yeah. So when I
all.
drive down 38th Street and I see that Value City's not, it kind of makes me sad.
Yeah,
I said, "Aw."
and Zayres used to be off of what Fall Creek and Keystone.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah. Anyway, I just, so seeing even my parents now, they're still an inspiration. Because my mom, she's always loved kids. So there was always some extra kids around the house when we were coming
That's
up.
funny.
But to actually learn the business side of entrepreneurship, like
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot to pull from in my parents,
Yeah.
just in general, because they're amazing. You can't tell me somebody married as a teenager still married and they enjoy each other. They
Yeah.
laugh together. They have
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, now my
You
parents was married for 53 or 4 years before he passed. Yeah, and they got
yeah.
married. My mother was 18.
See, that's amazing. It's
Yeah,
rare that you
like
hear
that
about
type of
that.
love back then is there's not like that this around. And I think
No.
it's just because of just life and how things have evolved and just the pressures and the distractions and the social media and just
Yes.
all of that plays a part.
I also think a lot of people go into it with the option to divorce. Like, if it don't work out, just divorce.
Yeah.
Listen, my mother, she told us when they were younger, she was like, people getting divorced over money. She said, we ain't had no money, so we ain't had nothing to get divorced. She was like, it was
Yeah.
us against the world.
Yeah.
Just so,
Yeah. So have you
anyway.
always wanted to be an entrepreneur or was this something that just kind of happened?
No, so let me say this: my dad is a hustler. He's always working on cars and flipping. Like,
Hmm.
I've always seen him hustle in a sense. And so, I, back in 8th grade, I was the candy saleswoman at
Okay.
school. I could care less about it. I'm a tomboy. I could care less about a purse, but I started carrying a purse because I had
Yeah.
to fill it up with that candy.
Okay.
And so I learned to hustle very young, just watching them, and it was like second nature.
Hmm.
And so, also personally for me, I was a young mom myself. Well, 20-year-old mom, and I was on government assistance at the time. But I mean, a lot of people know that when you get kicked off of government assistance, that doesn't mean that you can meet the cost of living.
Right.
And so for me, I was stuck in that space
Yeah.
of I can't even buy a steak now because I don't have food stamps,
Hmm.
but I'm not making the cost of living. And so I hustled. I
Mm.
hustled my way through that. I had 3 different hustles going on. I was flipping Coach purses where I was
Mm.
going to Edinburgh Outlet,
Yeah, I
buying
remember you
them on
saying that.
clearance,
Yeah.
charging 3 times more on eBay.
Wow.
And so I just learned to hustle early. And so that part kind of was like, oh, okay. I guess if I see something, I'm also very aware.
Hmm.
So, like, again, at that event at my daughter's birthday, I was like, man, this is like really doing something for these young ladies. And so I was aware at that moment.
Hmm.
And I didn't think of doing it for money, but I had some friends come over. That was in February. Friends come over in May. I was like, hey, I got an activity for us.
Hmm.
And they were like, girl, you could be making money doing it. I was like, are y'all serious? You think,
Right.
like, no, yeah, you could be making money.
Okay.
And so then I started to kind of put that part together. But before that, I've owned a vending company. So I have,
Gotcha.
I've hustled into
Yeah, yeah,
entrepreneurship
yeah.
and,
Yeah.
monetized some things.
Yeah. So what is your background?
My background is banking.
Okay.
And
So
so,
you got some good books in your business.
well, so let me say this much.
So what happened was, but I say that just because it's not always perfect. We think somebody
That's true.
has a particular background, but that doesn't mean it's not easy to maneuver like that in your own business.
No, yeah, let me say this much because I'm an honest person. But my banking started in the branch for like 12 years. But then I realized at that point I hate sales. Like,
Mm.
and when I say that, like, I can sell. But if you give me a goal to say we need 29 checking accounts today, I'm like,
Yeah.
miss me with that.
Oh yeah.
And so I ventured towards compliance and
Mm.
operations.
Gotcha.
And so my background in banking really is compliance.
Okay.
And so don't ask me to read your income statement, your balance
Right.
sheet. And the funny part is I serve on boards
And they be
and
trying to slide you them sheets real quick.
I'm like, no, 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 no. I don't think
Don't
you
get this title.
understand.
Don't
Yeah.
get it confused.
I don't think you understand right now. And so, but I do believe in properly leading and having the right people in position.
Absolutely.
And so I have right now it's just my daughter and I in the business, but I have friends and other people who are well versed and knowledgeable in finance and different things
Hmm.
like that. I'm like, look this over for me. Let me
Mhm.
know like what's going on. And then I think it helps that I'm still frugal.
Yeah.
I still live like I'm on government assistance. And so I'm like, how can I cut my costs and
Mhm.
then keep a little profit in there.
Yeah.
So
So how many events have you had? You have them every month, right?
every month, with the exception, we took off February. It was my daughter's birthday. She was like,
Okay.
Mom, I think we need a break. We just started in October, y'all. But
Uh,
anyway, it's okay. So
yeah.
yeah, every month. And then so we started October 2023 on a Sunday. Um, just whoever can and will come. It was like a party invitation, one of those emailed
Mhm.
invitations, and we just asked a few dollars. So people came and we did it. They enjoyed it, and then we added on like a self empowerment part to it because I'm very much into building others up, and
Mhm.
so flowers naturally I think
Mhm.
lift people. That I'm about being intentional.
Yeah.
Because again, there's so many people intentional about the wrong
That
things
part,
that I'm
absolutely.
like, we got to combat that with some positivity and some good
Mhm.
things.
Mhm.
And so every month in May, actually on my birthday, May 18th, 2024, we had an official ribbon cutting, like hard
Yay.
launch.
Nice.
And so that was on a rooftop at
Okay.
a university.
Okay.
And so it was really nice. It
Yeah.
sold out,
I
and
love
we
that.
were able to get Mom of the Year awards.
Oh,
And so
nice.
we called it the Motherly Love Brunch
Okay.
because we wanted to honor moms and mom figures.
Love that.
And so, not everybody has the
Mhm.
story that I have, as far as having a supportive,
Mhm.
wonderful mom. But I'm like, listen, your track coach may have been the
Mhm.
one,
Yeah.
or your grandmother, whoever
Yeah.
that is. We just encourage them, bring them out, nominate them, and it was a good
I
time.
love that.
It was burning hot, burning hot.
Burn it.
Like we should got a little canopy or a tent or something, but
Oh
that's
my
all right.
goodness. Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
So do you plan the events monthly? Like each event has a different theme?
yeah. So we named them something, but honestly, the self empowerment, like it is about 2 weeks before that we really start digging into it to find out like what is the focus? What do we want to
Mhm.
focus on? So one time we focused on self care, and it was all about, it was a wheel with like 8 different pie pieces, like how you take care of yourself spiritually, emotionally,
Mm.
physically.
Mhm.
And so that was a good one. And then we talk about, I'm big on, so let me say this much, it is open to men. We had 1 month where one man came. Other than that, it's been all women.
Yeah.
But I'm big on, again, just intentionality. A lot of women pour into everybody else. You make
Yeah.
sure your kids is taken care of, your spouse, your parents,
Mhm.
your niece and nephew, your
Mhm.
your pets. You make sure
Mhm.
they taken care of. But
Mhm.
then when it comes to you, it's like, who's taking care of me? Who
Yeah.
is who is focusing on me?
Mhm.
And so even, unfortunately, some of us with a spouse or significant other, those dynamics sometimes is, and again, it's probably the nurturing, mothering part where we take
Mhm.
care of
Yeah.
significant others.
Oh yeah.
But it's like, okay, hey, I'm here. Can you,
Mhm.
send it back
Mhm.
this way?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And you have a grandbaby?
I have a grandson.
Yes.
He is 2. Oh my gosh, that dude. He plays every sport there is.
Oh, that's so cute.
And so yeah, we're working on hand-eye coordination.
Okay.
And actually he almost knocked my head off with the look. He hit that, I threw the ball and he took that bat, and I said, whoa, okay, all right. We got a
He
little
said, "I got
sports
this,
figure.
mama."
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So that was different. Again, I became a mom at 20, and my daughter was 19 when she had him, and so it was it's crazy because I was talking to a friend about earlier today about how I was a single mom, and now my siblings, they all were married when they had children, and some of them still are married to their children's parent, and I was the only one that wasn't, and so I kind of felt a little guilt
Mm.
about, again, because my parents were still married, my grandparents were still married until they passed away, and I was like, ooh, uh-oh. I don't want to bring shame to the family. But at the same time, I'm not a person that could be shamed because I will dig in your closet, ma'am. Don't come for me.
Right.
Because you got a whole background.
Mm-hmm.
And so, anyway, outside of that, I was like, it's crazy how that happened with my daughter. Because I can kind of help guide
I
her
was gonna say
in
you was
single
prepared
parent.
for that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And she is funny because her relationship with her son's father, they're still together and doing well and raising the baby together. And I was like, I didn't even have that. And so, just to see the next generation,
Yeah.
like you provide the foundation and then they're a little bit more solid than you were. And I was like, okay, all right, it's doing what needs to be done.
Yeah, just like I was talking to my daughter a couple weeks. No, it was earlier. What is today? Monday. It was over the weekend, and just texting her that she, when I look at her, she is the confidence that she has at her age because she's 19. I didn't have that at that age.
Ooh.
Like she's very not put me in a box. She doesn't care what people think.
Yes.
She's gonna do what she wants to do, and at that age, I was a people pleaser.
Yep.
And I caught myself in situations because of that.
Yes.
And I told her that I'm really proud of her because I'm like, you are the better part of me.
Yes.
And she was like, well, you had everything at my age that I don't have. Like I was married, I had a job, I had my own apartment. I said, but it's not always about that.
Yeah.
And sometimes, and I know I had to learn that because she would always tell me, I'm not you, mom, because I did at some point. And I think we as parents, we don't mean to, but we kind of do compare. Like, well, when I was that age, I had a job.
That's right.
I had my car. I had this. I had that. Yes. But they're different. What do they have that you didn't have?
Yeah.
And it was just a really good conversation that we had. And it was through text. So, but it was still good. I know I'm like you, I'm trying to be a little bit more intentional now with her because she's at a very still impressionable age, and
that's right.
I did not have the support of my mother when I was her age. Me and my mother was on the outs.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to be that. Yeah, you making decisions that I probably don't even agree with.
Right, right.
But my dad always loved me unconditionally. Like no matter, he didn't like the decision, and he would tell me I don't like it, but the love he had for me never changed. I never felt different.
You know what? There's this phrase that is so funny. My nieces are older than my daughter, but I want to say maybe 2017. They were going to prom, and I was trying to be funny. Their dates were there, and I was like, "Make sure you leave room for Jesus." Talking about when they're dancing, like whatever, like okay. Anyway, so. But that phrase is kind of, well, and I heard it before that, but it's kind of stuck with me in my parenting since then. Because naturally, your 19-year-old child is pregnant. You're not, like, woo, whoop-de-doo,
Right.
And so I had to check myself in that situation. Well, in some other situations of parenting. Because I was like, girl, you were 20 when you had a baby. I'm sure my parents' plan was not for me to take that route. But I think I'm all right. I turned out all right. And so I was like, you know what? I have to just allow God to lead my child.
Yeah.
And so, and I told her, I said, listen, when she turned 18, I was like, you're 18 now. I'm not going to tell you what you need to do, what you should do, none of that. I said, but I am here. If you need me, I have advice, I'll support, I love you, all the things. But this is your life. You got to take it in your hands and make the decisions for your life. And the same, I may not agree with them.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you if you ask, but I said, you are equipped with I've given you everything you need, the tools, the resources, everything I knew. There was something my parents did with us that I did with her. There were
Mhm.
some things they didn't do that I was like, I'm gonna do a little different.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
and so
So how's your relationship been with her? With y'all working and having a business together?
yeah, it's so funny. Again, I was sharing with a friend earlier back in, so we started in October, and it was me momming the business.
Mm.
Like, okay, you do this, do that, just kind of calling the shots as mom.
Mhm.
And then in November, it dawned on me. I was like, you know what? Let's sit down and we had our November event, and then we did like a recap. And I was like, so what do you think you do well in, or what you enjoy? And so she explained, and I said, okay, I agree. And, we kind of talked about that. And I was like, so when it comes to these pieces of the business, that's you. I said,
Mhm.
if anybody asks me, you need to go talk to Kylie. That's her area. I said,
Mhm.
because guess what? I said, I'm your mom, but in this business, I'm not your mom. I said,
Okay.
baby, you're a boss. I said, we're going to boss up together.
Yes.
And so I really try to empower her
Mhm.
to do her thing in the business. And so
Yeah.
when we're doing the flowers, it's funny. She normally, so just for anybody who doesn't know, we do step by step
Yeah.
floral arrangements. So we provide flowers, vases, whatever,
Mhm.
and then we walk you through how to put your bouquet together. She is better at that than I am. I think that she also has a full-time career using her hands. She's more of a hands-on person,
Gotcha.
and I'm more of a mental kind
Mhm.
of person. And so she normally does that, and I'm just like, let me read the facts about these flowers. The baby girl's moved. She's moved
Right.
on.
I love that.
And so I see her growing in how to lead others as far as providing directions.
Mm.
Because a lot of times we say stuff, think we so clear.
Mhm.
He like, I said put the line down the middle. Now I meant horizontal, you did
Right.
vertical. But I just said put the line down
Like
the
when we
middle.
was trying to do the flowers this last time, it was some of the little
That's
poor little
hilarious.
tink tink. Some of the older ones was like, I don't know how to put
That's
my hand.
okay.
They tied it so tight, I'm like they braided it. But
That
that's
was
part
funny.
of it. It is
It
funny.
is.
Yeah.
And so here's the other part of it. Um, Surprise, but we are not florists. We both have full time careers doing
Yeah.
other things, right?
Yeah.
And so we're learning because we're also serious about if you're gonna put a product out here, you better know what you're talking about and doing.
Mhm.
I'm not the one to just halfway do nothing. And so we're serious about that, but at the same time, we're learning along with
Mhm.
everybody else. And so yeah,
Well, you
people,
inspired coming to that. Like I love, love, love flowers,
yes,
and just the fact of the slowing down and the putting and being intentional about how you do it is so important for anybody, but especially business owners because
yeah,
we don't slow
yes,
down.
yes,
And so to have an activity like that, I'm like, I want to do this with my friends. I want to do this with my daughter,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
or I want to send somebody to one of your classes
yes,
so they can experience it because I think
yeah,
it's such a dope concept. And it's just flowers, like
yeah. Well, and that's what I was getting at. We always say, it's funny because you have 15 women in a room. You have 15 different looking flowers.
they all were yes.
We have the same instructions. We
You
didn't go one by one and give instructions.
right? No,
But however
yeah.
you executed
Like mine
that,
was so tight and
I
so
loved it.
it
It
is
was cute. I
yes.
was like, oh,
Everyone else's was
we're
so.
about to hire her, y'all.
But you know what? I think your personality kind of comes out in it,
It
or how and how
does.
you see. Because I'm a visual person, but like the
Yes.
way, yeah, it's just interesting. Some maybe that are more free spirited
Yes.
have more of the free flowing.
And
Me, I'm a Capricorn. I'm very structured and very so it made sense why mine. I don't know, but it's
yep.
just
It
it's like subconsciously sometimes you come out in your design.
it yes. No,
Hmm.
yeah. And so it's funny because we are at the end people you could tell the perfectionists because they want theirs to look just like ours.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
I already
ooh,
know that's not nothing I do is gonna look like anybody else's, and I've done come to grips with that.
you okay with
I
that?
am okay with
And
that.
it's funny because it's also a mental thing. Like we have to tell people, like, listen, Like yours won't look like ours, and that is okay.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, our question is, do you like it?
Yeah.
Yes, I like it. We love it.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's your own work that you
Mm-hmm.
create, your masterpiece.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's also part of that confidence builder
Yeah.
and empowering people that you don't have to
Mm-hmm.
please everybody else or, fit in with everybody else.
Yeah.
Which actually reminds me, we did a private event for a daycare, my mom's daycare summer program.
Okay.
And we had like these spray painted hot pink, and it was like a funny color blue, a cyan maybe, and a yellow. And then we got these big, I think they were red, big red flower. And I was talking to the kids. We did empowerment with the kids as well.
Oh.
And I was talking to them like, do you see this big old red flower? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, does this even match or go with these other flowers? They was like, well, no, not really. And I was like, do you know that some people may try to treat you like this red flower, like you don't mix or blend with them? I was like, but can't you see this flower is pretty all by itself? Like this flower does not need them to be pretty. And so it was all about being unique.
I love that.
And embracing who you are.
Yes.
As yourself. And just you may stand out. And so I was like, so where do y'all want to put the flower? They was like, we're gonna put it at the top. I was like, yes.
I love that.
Okay, because we're not beneath anybody.
No, I think that's powerful to do that for young kids because they don't have that. They don't see that.
That's right. And
That's so dope.
at that age, these are like 9 and 10-year-olds out for summer
age.
for the summer. Yeah. And you want to fit in with everybody. You want everybody to like you.
Man, I look back, man, I don't care now.
I wish you would try to give me your opinion. Right. Because I don't care two squats about it.
No, like it's so crazy when you look back to see how you was. Like you really cared what people thought. And sometimes it still trickles into as you're being older, but I think as you really own who you are and love who you are and what you do allows people to have a space for that. Whether it's once a month, it's still a time when I consider that self-care.
Yes, I do too.
It's so definitely.
Yeah, because to your point, you got to step away for these 3 hours. Like, don't bring your kids in here. We love the babies. Don't get me wrong, but this is your time, and so you have to step away. And then it's all about. I was looking at you. You were sitting next to my sister, and I was like, "That's so cool," because my sister's not, and she's explaining some of these monthly events. She doesn't have a ton of friends or people that she talks to. And I was like, I mean, she's just the realest, most down to earth person. I was like, I'm glad they said next to each other.
She was a sweetheart. She was funny. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's good.
And it's a good way to network in a different way.
Yeah.
We're always about business all the time. So it's nice to be able to network and learn who you are other than a business owner. I'm a mom. I'm a caregiver. Yeah. I'm the nucleus of my family.
Yeah.
Just like with the older ones that was there, that they was able to give the wisdom. It just you don't find that in spaces.
And so from our brunch in May, I had a vision. So every month we give away some free tickets just to people who may enjoy it or may not be able to afford it, or just for different reasons. And so there was a young lady I had met through a nonprofit. And we invited her to our brunch. And we are outside on this rooftop, beautiful, just everything just beautiful. And she says to me, she says, I just want you to know, coming from Wheeler Mission, homeless shelter, to drinking mimosas on the rooftop, she's like, that is nobody but God.
Wow.
And I was like, wow.
No, really.
Because when you have money, you're afforded to do a lot of things. And I've lived in poverty, but never homeless.
Yeah.
And I didn't know her story when I invited her. And I was like, that's amazing. And so it just gave me the vision. So first of all, our mission, the Floral Design Lab believes that all people deserve to be acknowledged, heard, seen, and
Love that.
uplifted.
Love that.
And that begins when we take time out for ourselves and to connect with those who positively pour into us.
Yeah.
And so from there, the vision was we want to bridge generational, racial, and socioeconomic gaps. And so I'm always look out. There have been times where we had a 16-year-old up to 73-year-old.
I love that.
And I come from, when I was born back in the day, it was like kids don't speak until you're spoken to. You don't sit in a room with adults. And some of that, I understand.
But some of it, what if they were allowed to be in those spaces?
Well, and it's like, and then back then it was like whatever you had to say wasn't important. Girl, shut up. I'm like, well, hold on, I got an opinion. Don't nobody care about your opinion.
Right.
And so in this room, in these spaces, the whole environment is that everyone can be heard. And so, and my nieces typically are the youngest ones, and they always are like, thank you so much. It was so good to hear from the 70-year-olds. And, the 70-year-olds are like, it's so good to hear what young people are doing. And I'm like, listen, it's a safe environment for one, but everybody's voice is important in this room.
Yeah.
And
so important.
Yeah.
I love what you do. And I can't wait. Like, I already have ideas on how I want us to partner and just really, help you take that, like, to the next level, because it's so important. These are, we sometimes we focus on the wrong things.
Yeah.
And it's these small things.
Yes.
That you can tweak someone's mindset and you can put them in a position where they can think differently about themselves, which can help unlock something that can take them to the next level.
Yeah. I'm gonna be again real with you. The Friday before that event, it was on a Saturday, 2 Saturdays ago. I quit this business 10 times. I quit. I ain't doing this. I quit. Y'all go tell the people that I quit. I'm not coming. And I laugh now.
No,
but
yes,
real
talk.
Being an entrepreneur.
Girl, I say that every week. I said that. What was it? Friday. I was struggling, and I said, you know what? Yeah, maybe this ain't for me.
You're trying to convince yourself because you know it's for you.
Maybe
and somebody's benefiting. No,
for real. Like, this is a lot.
It is.
But I feel like we need to allow ourselves to have those moments. Don't let that define. Yes. Like, have them, own them. Say, you know what? I'm struggling, so I'm gonna sit in this. I'm not gonna make a decision.
Yes.
I'm gonna go to sleep and see how I feel in the morning. If I feel the same way, I might phone a friend.
There you
to say, am I talking crazy? Like, yes. Just different.
That Saturday morning, I woke up. And I went there and I was like, I remember everybody was leaving and we were packing up and I told my aunt, I was like, yeah, I quit 10 times. She said, you ain't quitting.
Yeah, no, for real.
and my mother's like, no, you ain't. But, well, for one, that's the other part. My aunt and my mom have been there every single month.
Wow.
They're the two that have made every month.
I love that.
And so when I say supporter, I call them the dream team.
I love that.
Because they're going to make something happen.
Yeah.
Okay, even if you like, no, I got it. No, mama and auntie got it. And so my mother and aunt, it's been amazing. So I grew up in a family where my parents didn't always tell us that. Like, I asked them the other day, what's y'all health history? They asking me at the doctor. I'm like, I don't know. They don't tell me nothing.
Right. No, for real.
And so, like, they both have been sharing in these events. And I'm seeing a different side of the both of them.
That's beautiful.
That it is. And I'm like, I've been trying to get my mom to talk for years.
Right.
Because I'm like, I know you get so much that you can share to save somebody. And don't get me wrong, she does talk. And, but when it comes to, I think, her children, we just didn't have that. We never had that open conversation relationship. And again, we have an amazing relationship. It just was
Hmm.
never, I never felt comfortable just talking about
Yeah,
a lot of things
because
with
you
her.
look as your they always created this authoritative
There you go.
because in
Yes.
their mind they was doing that as a protection,
Yes.
not realizing that I still need to see that humanity side of you because I
Yes.
know you have it.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
just give. I see you give it to other people,
Yep.
but you don't
Yeah.
give it to me.
That's what it was.
Yeah,
And so, yeah, just there's been a few times where I'm like, what? Mama sharing? Or, Auntie
yeah,
is sharing.
yeah.
So it's good. Well, my mother, she said, I almost told them, now where else are you gonna get nice meals, some beautiful flowers, and therapy for just this
Right.
$50
I know
a
that's right.
month?
That's for real talk. Real talk. Yes.
I said, well,
Yes.
that. So yeah, I wouldn't say it's therapy. We are not therapists.
Say that disclosure now.
Yeah, we are not therapists. We're not even what they're called. I don't even can't even think of the other one, but life coaches. We're not
Right.
life coaches.
Yeah.
But no, it's just I think it's power when people
Mhm.
come together and you're transparent and honest.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I definitely recommend some to go to therapy,
Mhm.
but this is also a supplement to that,
Yeah.
is what I would say.
Yeah.
It's another way to tell your truth and be
Mhm.
transparent
Mhm.
and connect
Yeah.
with others who feel the same way. The other thing I enjoy about it are the affirmations.
Yeah.
So on every flower, somebody writes an
Yeah.
affirmation, and that's powerful too because so we switch them around and give
Yeah.
them to switch them around the room. Just somebody else, random person gets them.
Yeah.
But it's also powerful because when I read those affirmations, I'm like, man, I am not alone.
Mhm.
Somebody else feels like they're sinking or
Mhm.
whatever the affirmation
Yeah.
speaks to.
Yeah.
Somebody else wants to quit.
No, for real.
And so I'm like, that is so good.
Mhm.
And it's not exposing. It's
No.
not
Yeah.
like, Melissa sent you this. And,
Yeah.
it's very private and
Yeah.
like, okay, I feel heard or seen.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So where do you so your event's coming up this weekend. Where can they find the event so that they can purchase tickets? Because
Yes,
it's her 1 year anniversary, so
one
make sure you do that.
tickets on sale until this Thursday. I don't even know the date, October 4th, something. um, and the tickets are at www.floraldesignlab.com on the events tab. So
Okay,
/events.
gotcha.
And so we have our 1 year anniversary celebration. It's a throwback. And so prices are reduced to throwback prices.
Okay.
The activities are going to be throwback
Yeah,
activities that we
that's
did the
fun.
first month when we were trying to figure it all
I
out.
love that.
And then actually on Sweetest Day this month on October 19th,
I
we
saw that. I was like, who should I bring?
had bays and bouquets. And so it's gonna be
That's
really
really cute.
fun.
I
We're trying
love it.
to. It's funny though, because I think in Indiana, I'm like, are people dating? Like, are we connecting in love? Because
I don't
when you
know.
talk to the men, they're like, oh, I don't know about it. And I'm
Right.
not discriminating. It's just what I'm hearing when I'm
Mm.
talking to men. Like, hey, bring your significant. Ugh. Like, you too manly to go on a date with
Right.
your significant other. So
Yeah.
anyway, but we hope to have some nice. We will have some nice bite size. When I say gourmet appetizers, this is what I'm thinking. Don't hold me to it, but like crab and
Mm.
just some,
Yeah.
some upscale
Yeah.
bite size appetizers.
Nice.
But then you and your babe will be able to make some chocolate covered desserts with
Love
a
that.
chocolate fountain and
Yes.
make your own little mocktail and name it.
Cute.
So
Cute.
yeah,
That'll be fun. So
nice
where can
little
they
date night.
follow you at and find you?
You can follow us on Floral Design Lab Indie. We are on Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn, Floral Design Lab Indie.
All right. Any parting words for the people?
No, I just always say you are loved, valued, and appreciated. Don't you ever forget that. Don't let anybody try to steal your joy. Just because I believe every person is here for a reason.
Hmm.
So your life, it matters. It's important. And then I always think about I've already been through my hardest days. So whatever you're going through right now, whatever you will come up against, you'll get through it.
Yeah,
So
most
hang on
definitely.
in there.
Yeah. I love that. Well, thank
Yeah.
you for being on my show. And like
Thank
always, you
you.
can find follow us on Melissa Shaw. You can follow me, and then Instagram is Project. No, see, girl, I got so much going on. Is Our Generation underscore podcast, or is it podcast underscore? Anyway, I see
To
it's
look for our generation when
right,
Melissa
like with the
says
red
it.
hair. Like, what? Do you not know what you are? Oh, my goodness, girl.
We're gonna put it in the link right in
I will
a
put it in the link below, like they say.
right.
But yes, and then also, for resources and connections, please reach out to me. Definitely want to be able to connect you. If you have any events or anything, please utilize on Nicole. She's doing great work. And I always got to plug Legal Shield because you got to make
Yes.
sure that you're protected in your businesses and with what you're doing. So yeah, so just reach out to us. ProjectOurGeneration.org is my website, and we are out.